Florida Gator on me, I'm a gator. They don't move wrong, I'm a gator. From the swamp, homie, I'm a gator.
But I can't tame them, dog. You ready to come? All dogs, all Seminoles, we coming.
Florida Gator on me, I'm a gator. Florida Gator on me, I'm a gator. Florida Gator on me, I'm a gator. They don't move wrong, I'm a gator. From the swamp, homie, I'm a gator. And that two-tone, I'm a gator. Florida Gator on me, I'm a gator.
Welcome back to Gators Talk, guys. I am your host, Millionaire Trader Alex, guys, and I'm back in here for another one. Y'all know the Vanderbilt game is tomorrow. We got this opponent is not a great opponent, but this is an opponent that beat us last year. But before I get into Vanderbilt and the game itself, I want to discuss the Gator standard one more time, because I think some people out there believe that the Gators don't have a standard, which is not true. That is a false statement. I think it's something to try to back the fan base down and keep their egos and their fandom at bay. They don't want them to be aggressive out there, and I get it. We don't need you guys going on Twitter and other social media platforms threatening people, threatening coaches and other members of the staff. We don't need people doing that. That's some degenerate stuff. Don't do stuff like that. But when speaking about the Gator standard, we do have a standard. There is a thing that we have. There is a way that we used to see Florida Gators play. And just to let you guys know, we're a team that won 9 conference championships. We are 62% winners overall. We won 731 games. We lost 431. That's put us at 62.9% winning. We've been ranked number 1 41 weeks. We've been ranked 40 times in the AP poll. Since 1990, we have won 72% of our games. We've won 306 games since 1990. We lost 118. You do the math. We have 40 All-Americans. We have the mantra of DBU. So that's Marco Wilson, Kyer Elam, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Keanu Neal, Gus Scott, Lito Shepard, D. Webb, Keywan Ratliff, Lindy Infante, Fred Weary, Reggie Nelson, Matt Elam, Joe Hayton, Vernon Hargraves, Marcus May, Quincy Wilson, Tease Tabor, C.J. Henderson, Major Wright. The list goes on. There is a standard. We're used to seeing a stout defense, a fast defense, a defense that forces turnovers. That's what we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing explosive playmakers. We're the state of Florida. We're known for having the fastest kids in the state. There's an multi-Olympic sprinters that came from the state of Florida. Speed is known in our state. So this is what we're used to seeing. And in the 2020s, we haven't looked so great. We haven't looked so great. I got a stat here. In the 2020s, we won 20 games. We won 23 games and lost 20 since 2020. We're going downhill. We're trying to stop that momentum for us sliding to the downside, becoming a below 500 team. We're right at it. We're right just above it. 23 victories and 20 losses. We're trying to stop that from happening. And we do have a standard in place. So a team that normally wins 60% of their games, they're at least an 8-win team. Last 2 seasons, we're 6-win teams. That's not going to work. And the Florida fan base knows that. That's not going to sit well with us. We had a couple of seasons we went 4-7, 4-8. Those coaches got fired. They're not going to be here. That don't get the job done. So that's something that we don't settle for. We're not having that. Winning is the standard, and we expect that from our head coaches and players. I don't know where these people are coming from and like saying that we don't win. I don't know where they get that from. And I got another stat here. Let me get this pulled up real quick. So I have it here, guys. This is what I want you guys to see. Against Arkansas, we are 90% winner. Against Vanderbilt, 77% of the time we beat them. Against Kentucky, 73.9% of the time we beat them. South Carolina, 68.6 times we beat them. A&M, 66.7. Mississippi State, 62.9. Tennessee, 56% of the time. LSU, 53% of the time we win. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams in the SEC we beat majority of the time. That is a standard. That is normal. That is a routine. So no, the fan base is not going to be happy with getting out behind by people that we normally beat. That's just something that's not going to sit well with us. All right? But I didn't want to get there, but people out here just talking ad nauseum. Let's state facts out here, guys. But guys, that got me heated, y'all. They got me heated. Acting like we don't have a standard. That don't sit right with me. I've been a Gator for a long time. I've been seeing us winning for a long time. We don't go for that. Now we're gonna get on Billy Napier here. What's going on? You know, everything's been surrounding Billy Napier this whole time. Play calling, that's been one that's been talked about all week through multi places on YouTube. A lot of different podcasts are talking about that. So, you know, they want Billy Napier to give up play calling. You know, everybody's quoting Steve Spurrier, you know, hot topics, you know, hot takes on, you know, Steve think if a guy's been a play caller, he's normally going to stay a play caller. That's just normally how it normally be from the times of the old era. But in new age, guys do give up those duties. Is Billy Napier too stubborn not to give up the duties? He may not do that during the season. I don't think so. And I don't think a lot of people think that he will give up play calling during the season. It'll be looking kind of desperate. Now, he's not willing to do that. I think he will make some moves in the off season, but he definitely need to do an assessment right away. Right away. He got to turn this ship around. Now, Billy Napier do lack aggression as a coach, as a ball coach. He don't have a heavy spark when it comes to fire. He don't have that passion, and that he don't really exhibit that passion. Let me restate that. He doesn't exhibit that passion, and it doesn't come out fiery. It doesn't do that. So that's some things that it comes off. It comes off as a little soft. To be honest with you, it comes off as he's a soft coach. He's not tough on the guys. He may have tough workouts, maybe tough drills, few drills, but he's not tough on the guys. He does come off as a father figure to the guys as well, more than a ball coach. But you know, he's trying to be a leader of young men and develop these young men into men. So that's part of the process. But at the same time, we are still playing the game of football. And that it has to be a level of aggression, and there has to be a level of toughness and a level of attack when it's playing a physical sport like football. He has to have that. I think he's a little too practical at times. Just a little too practical. I don't think Billy Napier has that killer instinct. That's what he lacks as a head ball coach. He lacks that. I don't think he's clever enough to draw up plays during the season, in game, preparation during the week for success, to set his players up for success. That's his job, is to set his players up for success. And I don't think he's clever enough to draw up things within his scheme, the scheme these guys open, and create explosive plays. I don't think he let his players show their emotions. I don't think he let his players be aggressive. If a kid is naturally aggressive, let that kid be aggressive. This is the name of the game. This is within the sport. This is within the boundaries. Now, we don't let that linger out into their regular lives, but we let that stay in-house when it comes to football. Can he find the weaknesses in the defenses? Do he have the ability to look up a weakness in the defense and attack it through schematics? Can he do that? I don't think he can draw up new plays to attack a defense. That's a problem that he has. I mean, a lot of people. That's one of the reason why he getting all the smoke right now. But like I said in prior podcasts before, earlier in the summer, you came to Florida. You came here for that smoke. That's what you came here for. You gonna get that. You gonna get that. But Billy Napier, I mean, he got a few things he got to fix. You know, within his program, within his staff, and within himself. He gotta go look himself in the mirror as well, just like everybody else do. So we're hoping that he actually go do that and not be stubborn enough and bullheaded and make the changes necessary for the success of the program and for the success of himself. You know, we got a few things that happened. You know, I think over at High Top Sports, those guys, Shelton, found an article written about him over 10 years ago about his offense. And it's pretty much what we've been seeing. Everybody, we characterize it the same way they characterized it. And that's not a coincidence. There's no such thing as a coincidence out here. It is what it is. And that's what's happening here. We seeing exactly what they seen. He's very conservative. He don't attack. He want to run his game plan. And then when teams find out what's going on with him, they're dictating to him, and he doesn't make the proper adjustments. That's the problem. He got to start making adjustments and start bringing the fight to everybody else instead of letting people bring the fight to him. That's when I say he don't have the aggression that I think he needs to be an offensive coordinator and a head ball coach. Because you gotta go out there when the football is being played. You're bringing a fight to the other team, and that's have to be done with aggression and with a level of physicality. That has to happen. Your team got dominated last week because they wasn't physical, and it was missing tackles. We can't have that. He should have been on their asses this week. There's no way they should be smiling about any goddamn thing this week. That's what should have happened. We don't know if that happened, but any good ball coach, no, they're going to pressure their players to get the best out of them. And that's his job. That's his job. But we're going to get right into the Vanderbilt game. Vanderbilt's not a good team. They're not. Historically, they're not a good team. And they haven't played well against FCS opponents all year. We should win this game with no problem. We should handle this game at ease. We shouldn't struggle throwing the ball down the field. We shouldn't have pre-snap penalties because that's coaching. We shouldn't have special team debacles. That has to end. Everyone is speaking about this. And that has to end. Everybody knows this. This is football. This shouldn't be happening in the 5th week of the season. If those players can't do what's necessary, they should not be on the field. That's just plain and simple. But it's a lot going on, guys. A lot going on. But hopefully these guys, hopefully get special teams fixed. That's what we're hoping, that we can get our guys lined up and ready to play ball. And at least scheme up some things like onside kicks, a kickoff return. That you can be dynamic on special teams. whether it's a punt, block, punt, fake, anything. Special teams is a part of football, and it must be critically thought, and you must be creative on that side of the ball. We can't have no more shank punts. That can't happen. Can we get a punt returner to field the ball instead of letting it roll 10 to 15 yards? We're losing yards right there. We're losing yards, and that's how we keep getting pinned deep. This team is not coached well, and he got to see that. But we're hoping that we go into this game and we right a lot of our wrongs. That's what I'm hoping that Billy Napier recognize, and we're starting this point on, start progressing in that direction as the season go along. That's what we're hoping. But yeah, man, it's a lot. I know I just had a little spill here, man, but guys, it got to be said. It has to be said. Vanderbilt, we shouldn't even be talking about Vanderbilt the way we're talking about Vanderbilt. I seen Nick Delatorre say it's a must not lose game. I seen people say it's a must win game. It should not be either or. Just to be honest, this should be straight W out the gate. We shouldn't even be talking about this game like this. This is a W. We should be able to get all the guys that we want to play and see on the field. We should be able to get these guys on the field and get some tape on these guys so we can know what we have. And we should be able to try to develop some of these guys during this game. This is what kind of game this should be. But it hasn't been lately. And that's on the new coaching staff. And they do a great job outside of the football operations in season. But this is what you get paid for right here, for playing on the blades of grass. This is what you get all the money for getting players ready to play and play winning football. That's what happens. But guys, I ain't gonna keep going on and on because, boy, I can ride. Forgot one thing, guys. Man, the Florida Gators are putting Jabbar Gaffney in the Hall of Fame. That's a local guy for me. I played against a guy back in high school, former state champion over at Reigns in 1999. And, you know, he was all SEC receiver for the Florida Gators. So I got a special video here. Let's go ahead and check that out.
Gaffney is so open, it's almost like he has no coverage.
When you're hot, you are hot.
At the 40, Jabbar Gaffney. He scores.
Touchdown. That quick one, Gaffney. Looks across the middle, drills it deep in the end zone. Gaffney with a touchdown. Here's Palmer, pumps, goes deep, left side, man open. And it is tipped and in caught. Gaffney. Play fake, comes toward Gaffney, touchdown. Piece of cake. Again, a four-man LSU rush. He's got a receiver wide open. Jabbar Gaffney, say goodbye. There's Gaffney, slips the tackle. He is gone.
Yeah, man. So that's the type of playmakers we have at Florida. We have them on the roster right now. But can Billy Napier get the ball in these guys' hand down the field where these guys can catch and run and make plays? That's the key. Can we get Caleb Douglas the ball? I think Caleb Douglas is out, so we might not have Caleb Douglas. So that's going to be other opportunities for wide receivers like Aiden Mizell, Jaquavion Frazier. I'm not sure if Ty Bowman is off injury reserve yet. But there's other opportunities for freshmen like Andy Jean to get some playing time. So, and we have a few guys out for offensive linemen. So there's going to be a couple of guys that get an opportunity to show what they can do and try to earn that starting spot during the season. Let's see if they can change some minds here. Let's see if the guys really want it. That's what we want to see. If these guys really want it, the coaches can talk. They can tell them all day long, but the players gotta want it. They gotta want it. They gotta have something inside them that would not allow them to lose. We gotta have that's something. That's something they gotta have. But we're expecting that Florida to roll in this one. That's what I'm expecting. At least a 2-score game, maybe 3-score game. That's what I'm expecting. Homecoming. It should be a game that a few guys come out, make some big plays. We'll see if Billy can get this offense back on track. That's going to be the key. Can Billy get this offense back on track? That goes on to Rob Sale and Donnell Stapleton. They're going to be key to this. Right now, Rob Sale and Donnell Stapleton have the keys to the season. I talked about them a while back during the off season. Those guys got to get things going, and they got to make sure their player relationship is good, because right now they haven't been recruiting very well on the offensive line. And now that we're seeing the results of the offensive line this year, it's not looking too good for those guys. So those two guys, the microscope gonna end up being on those guys at some point. If the offensive line keep having the problems that they're having, they're gonna be looking at Donnell Stapleton and Rob Sale. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So those guys are very important pieces until Billy Napier's success as of right now, as we speak, and not alone Billy Napier play caller. He has to get the job done. Him and Pat O'Hara. They gotta scheme up something. They gotta be aggressive. You gotta step outside that comfort zone and go feel uncomfortable doing things that you're not used to doing. That's what he's gonna have to do. But that's all I have for you guys, man. Go Gators.